Welcome to Bella in Your Business. I'm Bella Vasta with Jump Consulting, and today I have a down under treat for you. I can't even say it. Tarran Deane is with us, and Tarran is the self-proclaimed corporate Cinderella, which I just love that title. She boldly challenges, honors, and equips people to shift their performance of their organization, practices, and profits. She is just about to launch this new book. Probably at the airing of this, it's already out. It's called The Alphabet Principle, Your A to Z Guide of Being a Compelling Leader. Tarran's whole wheelhouse is about leadership, and I just had to have her on because for my listeners, Tarran, we're all pet business owners, and we are all leaders of our life, as you know, of our business, of our employees. So without further ado, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Bella. I'm so excited that we've been able to make this happen.
It's just fantastic. I love technology, which we'll totally talk about a little bit later. But to kind of let everyone know how some blonde from Arizona met some blonde from all the way in Australia, where it's currently summer, where it's winter here. I mean, literally on the opposite sides of the world. You all know I love networking, and when I had an opportunity to get together with some people, I got an invitation, and it was something like, "Hey, two ladies from Australia are traveling here. I checked out their website. They look pretty cool. I'm going to get about 12 people together for happy hour. Do you want to come?" I said, sure, why not? And then I found out that these ladies needed a ride from their hotel. So I volunteered to take them because I thought it'd be really cool to learn about them one-on-one. And lo and behold, Tarran and I have made friends. That's the short story. I was just so enamored with your charisma and your brain. I have so much to learn from you, and your heart for Christ too, which is something that really drew me to you. I remember when we actually left, when I dropped you off at your hotel that night, we prayed in my car, and that just like made me weep because I was just like, wow, this woman is like the real deal, and she really cares. So Tarran,
make me cry.
you've made a huge impact on my life in just such a short time.
You.
So I'm so glad to bring you to my listeners today. So why don't you describe to me a little bit about who you are and how this whole leadership theme like came about, and you created this whole conglomerate around it?
Yeah, firstly, can I also say to your listeners that you made an impression on me.
Aww.
And your generosity of spirit, and there's some amazing things that happen when we seek to serve one another.
Yeah.
And it's in the simple things that great things happen. And that's certainly been what I've experienced through our burgeoning friendship. So thank you, Danielle.
Yeah.
In terms of the work that I've done, if we were to all look back across the pathway of our life, we'd see stepping stones that have led us to certain choices that we've made. And then as the choices have been correct, they've become great big steps as opposed to boulders in our path. Yeah. So for me, I began a journey in retail banking, so frontline customer service, then into training and education through that. Then of all things into tourism and hire cars, working in airports. So I learned a lot about different industries and customer service and shift work. But all the way through that was very much around personal leadership and assessment of customer needs, and then linking that back to the strategic direction of the organisation. And I recall an influencer in my life was a managing director for a national bank we have over here. And he would come on site and he would ask each of our staff.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Gosh.
Bless you.
We'll just edit that part out.
Let's
start that sentence again, please.
Yeah, sure. Our managing director would come on site and know each staff member by name, which was also amazing because it predates technology, right? He couldn't check it on his smartphone. He's got a little Excel spreadsheet in his car.
Yeah.
But he would ask each of us what our company values were and how we were demonstrating those values in the workplace. And so I found that quite influential. And as I embarked on senior leadership roles, I expanded into not-for-profit sectors after doing some short-term consulting, thinking I would stay with this company for 1 year as they made the transition from volunteer organisation supporting people with different kinds of disabilities into a partially funded service by the state government. I ended up staying for 6 years, and we had something like 88% staff retention, with staff only moving on as a result of pregnancy, relocation, retirement, that sort of thing.
Incredible.
I know, it was amazing. And then went on to become a senior executive at a national level, and began to see a disconnect at that high level between the rapid pace of change and walking the talk and getting the job done, and the values being embedded across the organisation. Now, in saying that, I was by no means a perfect leader, and as at to date, am still a work in progress. And so I accord great respect to all the organisations and sectors that I've worked in, because I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned what not to do, what I can do better. And in the birthing of Corporate Cinderella, that came about one rainy Saturday afternoon watching Ever After with Drew Barrymore.
Oh, my gosh.
And I know. I was 6 months into small business, and I was going through a whole myriad of doubts. You know, really, shouldn't I just go and get a job like at IKEA, your equivalent? Shouldn't, you know, I love customer service. I like coffee. Maybe I could work in the coffee shop. And then I was sitting down in a chair in our lounge room, and I felt, you know, my Christian faith. So I felt God graciously get impatient with me. And it was almost as if the Holy Spirit went, will you settle this? Will you settle this? You're either hot or you're cold. I've given you gifts, and I've given you talent. What are you going to do with it? So as I watched Drew Barrymore in this portrayal of the Cinderella story, I looked at courage and innovation and negotiation and diligence and execution and relationships and energy levels and understanding the laws of the land and leverage and great adventure. And those 10 letters, CINDERELLA, birthed the new Cinderella laws of leadership and what it took to lead in a strong and feminine way. And 10 months later, my small business became a company, and I was asked to speak at our state's largest sit-down lunch. It was 1,600 people at the time, on what it takes to be an iron lady in business, around having that core strength and conviction and the suppleness to adjust to be a structural support there for other people. And so that's the framework, I guess, that's led me to this point in my career. Long answer.
No, I what I love about that is you listened to the Spirit, you listened to your faith, you took a leap of faith, and you really niched it. You know, there's so much stuff about leadership, but when we come down to being a corporate Cinderella or a mom boss or, you know, however you want to say it, there's this, I can't even think of the word right now, but this air that if you're a strong woman, you're automatically a bitch. I'm just going to say it. Like, you know, and I love how you kind of took that and embraced it and said, no, you don't. And this is the way we can be.
And if I can add to that,
Please.
It's also shaking up the perception of Cinderella, because I needed to be taken extremely seriously with the work that I do, having been involved in high stakes not-for-profit work where it was life or death at different times. I did not want there to be a myth amongst male decision makers in the corporate sector, or even some tough women, that the term Cinderella was deemed to be, you know, just ditzy bluebirds around the head. And that's why pairing it with a stronger word like corporate Cinderella, from a marketing perspective, the power of alliteration, corporate Cinderella, that was where I initially started. And I, again, through faith, I gave myself the opportunity to reflect and marveled at how I discovered James Braddock was the 1938 to 1941 world heavyweight champion, portrayed in the movie by Australian Russell Crowe. The film was called Cinderella Man. And so it was about that rags to riches, good to great, that power of transformational leadership. So I often talk to senior executives around bringing people together corporately in unity to achieve Cinderella or transformational results that take people from good to great.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about a time when you had a problem generator in the workplace.
The old sandpaper ministry.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Problem generators. I find many businesses are very good at having policies and procedures, but we're not so good with managing behaviors. If someone's doing just enough to get the work done, the tactical done, the task done. So my challenges with problem generators came about because we did not make it very clear about our values and the behavioural expectations that went along with that. And so that was back in my time as a national executive. And I had a direct report who had applied for the job that I actually got, but was not granted an interview by my employer. So I walked into an organisation that had an established history where this particular person, I felt, had not felt seen in himself. And as such, there was a level of resistance because he'd not been valued by our current employer. And that in part was largely due to that person's behaviour. There was a lot of gossiping. There was a lot of
negative behaviors.
Negative behaviour, undermining, come into a meeting, I'd stand at the front of the room. This person would actually turn their body language away from me.
Wow.
It was really tough and a major learning curve for me. And that led to me developing a program called Resolve, PG 28, how to deal with problem generators in 28 days. And basically the lessons that I learnt and resolving to actually help people bring out their best, get on board with the organisational values, or for us to not shy away from having those robust conversations that simply say, you know what, Tom, we can see that you're really unhappy here, and this is demonstrated by the behaviours I'm seeing as you engage with Harry. And Harry's coming to me with some serious concerns, and under legislation we need to talk about anti-bullying, and even in a passive way. So is there an area that I can help you with that maybe will resolve this for both of you before it becomes something serious? What supports can we put in place?
It's so tough when you're a manager and you do have these problem childs, because the first you've got to decide whether it's like salvageable or not, right? Or if it's worth the fight, or if it's just like, let's release it. But then there's this whole conflict resolution that so many people are afraid of. I know that our listeners and their pet businesses, it's more of a mom and pop kind of situation. So it's even that much more personal, and it's very scary. We've been actually doing a lot of talking in our communities and groups lately about how to get your staff on board with policies and procedures and agree to them, and then also set your boundaries in a non-reactive way. So letting them understand that, you care about them, you want to feed into them, we want to work it together as a team, but we got to figure this out, So I want to kind of move into talking about why do vision and strategic planning matter, whether you're a corporate or you're just like a solopreneur, like why does it matter?
Yeah, look, great question. I think when we're younger, we get so caught up with living each day as it comes, but also we have these really magnificent dreams. And then when we get older and we start to embrace responsibility a little bit more, we reduce the emphasis on those dreams or that forward vision. Then we start a business, and then we come up with something in theory that looks like, okay, this is what we want to be, this is what we want to do. And so we'll have a vision. Unless it's connected to your why, i.e., example, aligned to your purpose or your passion, then, it's only going to be sustainable for a short amount of time. So when we have a vision, it needs to really be along those SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound.
Yes.
then we need to put legs on it. And putting legs on the vision, it means that we're writing it and we're making it plain, which is I think that's out of Habakkuk in the Old Testament. But it's a very much a principle that's adopted by the business world. So we'll have a vision, and then we'll have a strategic plan, and then we'll have an operating plan, and then we'll have team roles and job tasks. But if we were to imagine this like a tree, and in fact, on my website, I'm going to be updating this soon because of the new book, but right now there's a values tree that people can download, and it actually shows how the values go up like sap through a tree and should infuse every part of our business. So when we talk about strategic planning, I like to look at it in two ways, one which is structured and the other which is flexible. So I like to lay out a strategic plan that says, in 3 to 5 years, this is where I aspire our business to be. This is where I envision it to be. And then drill back around, what does this physically look like with the resources we have now, and what resources will we need to take it to where it has to be. Right. And then I actually have a 90-day operating plan. So I run with 4 quarters in a year, and I have that operating plan basically having 12 goals throughout the year to help me achieve that year's portion of the strategic plan. It keeps you on track. Yeah. It keeps you in a place where if you're having difficulty with, say, business partners or a family member, if you have predetermined at a certain time together that this is the direction we want to go in, this is our vision that we have for the next 12, 3, 6, 10 years, then you're in agreement. And so if conversations get tough, you're actually able to pull it back and go, honey, where's our true north? Right. When we sat down together as, in my case, Team Deane, we said that we would be aiming for this. These are the steps that we were each going to take to help us get to this true north. Is there anything in that we need to adjust? Because if we take this step, that means that we're not going to achieve this by this time. And often by writing it down, Danielle, I feel that it removes some of the personal emotion out of it, and we can be a little bit more detached. Yes. And we can have some more what-if conversations, some more exploratory stuff. Yeah. Because things happen, family needs change. And when those family needs do change, or when those challenges come, you kind of have this concrete rules of your game, your vision, your plan, your actions, your tasks, your jobs that you've already predetermined when you were in an emotional state. And I know that so many people listening, maybe not so many, but I know some people, I would be one of them, listening at first are like, oh, Bella, come on, that's like way too corporate. That's way too like fancy pants. Let's write it all down. I just go with my flow and follow my heart. But I want to encourage the people that might be thinking that right now, that maybe that's also why you feel a little scatterbrained. Maybe that's why you get up in the day and you think like, what did I really just work towards today? Or I just feel like I'm spinning my wheels. If you have that spinning your wheels effect in your life, which is really easy to do in our industry because we're constantly dealing with schedules and clients and pets and if you don't have this plan, if you just take that small amount of time, break it up into these chunks that Tarran's talking about. Be a leader of your own life so that you can be a leader for everyone else around you, your kids, your husband, your wife, your staff, your clients, your community. You know what I mean? And so I want to really encourage anyone who's listening to this, because I can hear them already. They're saying like, this is too much. It's too structure. It's too structure, I get it because it's hard for me as well. But Tarran, I did some of these things that you talked about after I met with you, and I'm kind of exploding right now. So it's incredible when you have those plans and you have those actions and you have those jobs, what you can do, not only for your business, but your personal life and those around you and how you affect. So guys, I really want you to hear the deep core of this message, because it might not be
about how to write a blog or how to write a dog, walk a dog. But this is like how to be a leader in your own life. And I feel like, I hope that we're talking to some of you right now and you guys are really having aha moments, because I know I am. Every time Tarran talks, I do. It's fantastic. So sorry, I just got really excited. So
No, that's great. Can I add
yes, of
something there?
course.
Because I think what's really important for everyone that's listening is to realize that um, while my business has a global reach, I'm a small business owner
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
As a company, I'm still a small business owner.
Yeah.
I go out into other people's enterprises. I deliver on corporate stages in Asia, New Zealand, the
Amazing.
States, here in Australia. But my office is here in my home. So I'm no different to anybody else. I'm still dealing with all the other things, the deaths of a family member, growing children, an expanding family. The washing still needs to be done. The car battery still needs to be replaced, 10 minutes before you're due to leave. We are all the same, but you talk about faith here, and I'm inspired by Proverbs 31, the woman that ran her household in such an effective way that she also wore robes of purple, denoting prosperity and success, that she would go out and she would buy a field. There is something about women that can get a sense of the talent that God has placed in them and have the courage and the boldness to rise up in their call and not shrink away. So when we talk about strategy, this is actually a faith-based principle. Write the vision, make it plain. And then it says, work out your faith with fear and trembling. This is scary stuff. But what we need to do is step out in faith and reach out and determine who we're going to serve, what are the ways that we're going to do it. Now, coming back to the 90-day goal stuff, there are a couple of things that I think will help your listeners.
Okay.
And I think I shared this with you. My signature 7 leadership
I love
is really
this.
about.
I love this. You guys pull over, put down the laundry, stop cooking, whatever you're doing right now, and listen to what Tarran's about to say. Because you told me this while sitting in a restaurant, and I remember I was eating a chicken burger, and I will never forget this. So, Tarran, go for it.
I was just looking for my whiteboard marker, but I think what I'll do is I will just mention at the end of this where people can download the infographic that we created at the end of last year to make it easy. So here I was missing the systems and the structure of working amongst a company of people in my executive role. I didn't have those resources. I needed to be creative. I knew that I thrive under pressure. But I was one of those kids in school that said, Tarran relies on talent. If she applied herself more, she would get even better results.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I then created the Signature 7 leadership and had this moment when I went, oh my gosh, there's 7 days in the week.
Yeah.
Let's use what's already there.
Yeah.
And so I created a different theme of leadership starting Sunday through Saturday. Mm-hmm. So on Sundays, it's personal leadership. And what I do is focus for 1 to 2 hours every day of the week on that day's theme in my business. And it doesn't have to be in a 1 or 2 hour block. It can be 15-minute segments here or there to work with you so it reduces your stress. So here's what they are. Sunday personal leadership, which is my time in my blogging and my social media, no matter the faith base of my market, but that's when I give what's called bonus sermons. And I title them bonus sermons because I can give expression to my faith on those Sundays. Because even in the world or in secular markets, they traditionally know that that's sort of weekend is when that sort of thing, church happens, right?
Yeah.
So I also focus on values. I make sure that I go for a walk on a Sunday, that I kook out a little bit. I put some music on. I go have fun. I catch up with a girlfriend and we go and have a coffee. Mondays is toolbox and technology. So it's Technology Monday. And I look at what are my systems, what are my apps, what needs updating, what's the latest video editing tool that I need, what's a productivity tool. Tuesdays are Strategic Tuesdays, and during that day I cover everything. So I look at my finances. What do I need to get to my accountant or my bookkeeper? What's the tax status? What is the superannuation? What is the quality assurance? What are the policies and procedures? What's basically the back office? Right. Wednesdays is Cultured Leadership Day, and that's how do I attract, engage, and chant, in the words of Guy Kawasaki, retain the best fitting people for my work, or help people move on. Thursdays is Speaking Leadership Day, and that's the day that I'm on the National Board for Professional Speakers Australia. That's my day when I look at any of my board content that I need to focus on. It's also the day that I design the keynotes, look at my client engagement forms, film video that I need for promotional material relating to the speaking aspect. Fridays is Online Leadership Day, so managing your digital footprint. So I'll go through and review the statistics on all our online stuff. And Saturdays is Family Leadership Day. So that's where I make sure I'm connecting with my girls. I'm having a motorbike ride with my husband, or we're going for a swim down in our local, I'm near Australia's most easterly point on the Gold Coast, and so we have a favourite river that goes out into the ocean, and so we call that Tallabudgera Creek, and so we'll often go down there on a Saturday and have a swim. So these signature 7 elements give me a sense of order and purpose around theming my day. So as I'm looking at my 90-day plan, my 90-day action cards, I'm looking at those and going, okay, what needs to be the biggest theme this quarter? What's the main theme? Is it cash flow? Is it team? Yeah. Is it systems? Is it marketing? Right. And then my 3 goals relating to that are then listed on my 90-day action cards. So, some exciting stuff. There's an infographic available through the store for free on tarrandeane.com. So just hit the store button, look for infographic signature 7, and people can download it with deeper explanation.
Awesome. And we'll put that in the show notes too, so everyone can get it. Well, that was my last question. It was like, how do you handle it all? But I mean, that kind of seems to be the way that you organize it all. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to how you juggle being a mom and a wife? And you guys, she rides, you call them Ducatis? Or they're
Ducati. Yeah, Ducati. Italian motorcycles. Ducati.
They call them crotch rockets here, in the United States. But she is she's bad. She's awesome. Her and her husband, they just go zooming around on their motorbikes, and it is so cool to see those pictures. How can people connect with you online on Facebook?
Yes, certainly. So my name's pretty unusual spelling. It's Tarrandeane. So as people connect with me on Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn, just simply my name is perfect. And certainly tarrandeane.com at the moment /alphabet to order a copy of the book if they're having difficulties with leadership or they simply want an A to Z guide. Jump online, pre-order it now as at this will be live, I think, when
we're going to make it live when your book's ready.
So just jump online and just go straight to the store and you'll find it. So folks, it'd be lovely to connect with you. And I can't wait to see you when I'm in the States.
I can't wait to have you back here. It's so much fun. You guys go check Tarran out. Tarran, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I know that it's the wee hours of the morning there. I don't even think I'm up at 7 a.m.
It's not too bad.
But you guys, thanks for being with us. Tarran, thank you again for your time. This has been another episode of Bella in Your Business. Please go to iTunes and Stitcher and like and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, make a comment, subscribe, get notifications so then you can get it in your inbox every Thursday. Again, this is Bella Vasta. Remember to always keep jumping.